Hello and welcome to our podcast. My name is Elle and I have a co-host here,
My name is Pierre.
and
Hello.
we are going to speak about how we cope with stress.
Woohoo, that sounds a really good topic.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
So
because
important.
it's so important and nobody is not feeling any stress at some point of their life. So of course, it's just that we have different triggers of what stresses us, but then everybody at some point of our life feels stress, which is normal, as I would say.
That's right. Yeah, of course. Like, I believe I never met anyone who didn't suffer from stress. Even, even if you have really mild stress, in the long term, it can impact you.
Yeah, and some stress are speaking about long term. Some stressors are long term, and some are short terms. I experience a lot of short term stresses actually, and you can see the triggers. And to people who know me really well, like family, they know that yep, she's stressed. Yeah, because short term stresses are just wow. It invokes the worst reaction in my body, but the long term stresses other things suffer in my own in personally. How about you? Do you have that kind of stresses, like short term, long term stresses?
Yes, so I believe I have long term as well. I believe we have more often short term stresses. In my case, yes, when I am under pressure for work, or when I have a situation which is not stable, when I'm looking for a job, or when I'm looking for building some side projects and don't I'm not able to to accomplish anything because I don't find the right idea, or maybe when you don't have a lot of money and you are struggling and you want to you are a bit stressed, because especially for families, that's not in my case. I mean, I don't have a family. I mean, I don't have to support kids, or I don't have to support anybody. So that's better. But in my case, usually for interviews, before having an interview for a company, I would feel quite stressed. Although I know that if I feel stressed, it has a bad impact on me, because usually in my case, when I'm stressed, I lose all my knowledge. Like, it's so hard to get some information from my brain if I feel stressed, because I will be like blank. I won't have. Sometimes I won't even be able to answer to a really easy question. And sometimes I would be really thirsty. I mean, I won't have a lot of saliva in my mouth, and so I will have difficulties to speak. That's obviously because of stress. I remember back in the UK when I had to open my first bank account for my company as a freelancer. I had an appointment with a banker, and I felt really stressed, and I could barely speak to him. He was asking me questions about my business, and I felt quite stressed. So yes, stress, I believe everybody has some stress. Now I believe we are more stressed about, I mean, we are stressed about different things. Sometimes for someone, like in my case, I used to travel a lot, and not knowing where I would sleep on the day. Like, okay, it's 3 p.m. I don't know where I will be sleeping tonight. It doesn't stress me. I know for some others, even not booking an accommodation 5 days before, it's already wow, how I need an accommodation. So everybody has different kind of stress. It's about the perception of, I mean, of the life you have, or perception of you fear, probably.
Yes. So that's right, actually. And speaking about these stressors, so for me, mine is a bit more of a daily basis because for me when I'm doing something for the first time, like an example would be let's say, going to Office Works to print some things.
Oh yes.
And I'm doing it for the first time. Like, I
So
am not
do you
sure.
mean you have never been inside of
never-
Office Work before?
I have been to Office Works before, but not doing something like printing.
Oh yes.
For my own, like being in a machine, doing it my own. And I get a bit stressed, and I sweat a lot, and I feel like it's so bad. It's like my response is so bad because it's like I sweat a lot and I feel like people are looking at me, even though it's false. No, they don't care. But for me, it's like, oh my God, am I doing it right? And the next time I do it, I sweat less because I'm no longer stressed.
See.
Yeah.
So you have the feeling everybody is seeing you sweating like a pig, and it's really visible, and
It's visible.
you feel, and this will actually make your stress even worse.
That's right. Other than being stressed, you feel embarrassed at the same time. It's
Although
so bad.
no one cares,
No one
but
cares.
we always tend to believe we are the central of the world. Like everybody is looking at us.
Yeah, and also I don't feel when somebody tries to talk to me, even though they're being nice, I don't know why, but I get so triggered with stress. I don't know. It's just the thought of speaking to people, although they're really nice. Yeah, but then I sweat a lot. I think I'm sweating now. I think I'm
Are
getting
you
triggered.
stressed?
I think I'm getting triggered.
Oh.
And it's so hot, by the way.
So that's it. That's also quite interesting because everybody has different side effects of the stress. Like in my case, I don't sweat when I'm stressed, but however, like I said, usually I wouldn't have saliva anymore, and I would have difficulties. I would have difficulties to speak. I would have difficulties to be able to know what I have to say, or I might do mistake, or I would shake sometimes because of stress. But I don't sweat. In your case, when you stress, when you are stressed, usually do you sweat? That's one of the main side effects.
Yes, and you know what's the funny thing is? For me, interviews is just like
Oh.
a game for me. I recently applied to a job, and then I just didn't prepare myself. I just went there because they told me to go there, and then I got hired. I didn't really care.
You didn't feel stressed just before?
No. Yeah, no. I cared about the job, but
Yes.
then the interview for me was like, okay, like ask me questions. I'll answer the best I could.
And I believe it's not the first time for you to. Usually, from what you told me, you are never stressed for interviews.
No, not really, because
It's,
it's. Maybe before, it's like it's really, because I think people now are much more compassionate, and they understand, especially when they're in the industry that you're trying to apply for. I think it's much more relaxed in my own opinion. But then before, I'm not sure actually. I'm sorry for saying that, but yeah. But yeah, I feel like they empathize more nowadays, so that's why I feel really relaxed,
Nice.
And I think in the IT industry as well, it's like I've heard you speaking about your boss just wearing no footwear at all, going to the office. Yeah, so
What do you mean?
like no footwears, like sometimes they don't have shoes on.
Oh yeah. Some
Yeah.
do. Not me.
Yeah, not you,
Oh, yes.
but yeah.
During the interview, yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
They're much more relaxed, I would
Yeah.
say. I think we're much more luckier. But
Exactly.
then it still
That
stresses you
person
out.
during the interview
Yeah.
didn't have
Without
it.
a slipper, okay?
Yes.
Wouldn't that make you feel more relaxed? For me, just like, okay, he's not wearing footwear. Okay, maybe this is a much more like a low. Yeah,
Indeed.
Your skills would speak.
I know,
for
and
you.
sometimes, I wasn't at that interview. Fortunately, I wasn't the candidate, but the candidate had a suit and a tie and a white shirt, like really formal. He probably thought, oh wow, maybe I'm a bit too much.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, that's my
yes.
5 cents on that when it comes to interview. But
I
then
understand.
what we-
Especially nowadays, interviews are not about, like, I think before, interviews were more about how can I
creating a
ask,
good
how
impression.
can I ask some trapped questions.
Oh yeah.
Like, not being really nice, and people have to be very yeah, it had to be very formal, so it was more stressful. But now the environment is less stressful. Nowadays, it's really common to do interviews online
Yeah.
from home, so no one care.
Yeah, we digressed a bit, but even in your company, you told me HR has a different name now. It's because
Oh
HR is so
yes,
stressful. It doesn't sound nice.
human resources. It has a bad connotation.
Yeah.
The name isn't really good,
Well,
so now it's talent acquisition.
see, you feel like
Yeah,
you're a talent, not just some random
exactly.
human, that they resource human resources. Anyway,
Yes.
so we digress a bit. But what about your long-term stressors? Like, for me, I don't know, but yeah, how
For
about you?
me, in my case, I would say it's about what, yeah, about the time actually. I just see that you are showing me your watch, but yeah, it's about the time, like not being able to accomplish and not being able to become what I want to be.
Yeah.
So I think I have a lot of expectation of myself. I have set a lot of expectation of myself, of who I want to become in the future, and it scares me sometimes because I have the feeling I'm a bit late. Like every day is a new day, and the train is already ahead, and me I might arrive a bit late at the train station, and the train will already be gone, and the train is like my life. I mean, all the things I want to accomplish. So I want to do a lot, and I really want to because everybody has just one life, I believe. So it's for me. I mean, now I know that I should enjoy more the present, and by enjoying more the present, you will feel less stress as well, because usually you are stressed about the future a lot. A lot of people are. In my case, I'm not really stressed about the future, but I'm stressed about not being able to do things for myself in my life, like everything I want to do. Like, for instance, I want to buy a castle. Well, it's still not done yet, and it's really far from the day I would be able to do it. Although it's not hard. You just need to have a lot of money. You just need to find a good location. You just need to find a good castle. But you can do everything in 3 months. My problem is not the castle, actually. My problem is the money. And this is about, and for what, actually, you would ask me. I don't know, actually. It's just, yeah, I don't know. But those kind of things, it sounds a bit silly, probably. However, it stresses me a bit sometimes.
So our next podcast would be how to rob a bank. Just kidding. So yeah, we don't know actually, but yeah, don't.
No, obviously, in my case, um, you know, the money you have, you deserve it. What you buy, you have to deserve what you buy. Like, even winning at the lottery, for me, it's like,
It's a
it's a
stroke of luck.
shortcut, but I won't feel the same. I wouldn't feel as proud as earning the money by myself, because winning at the lottery, you just get the money like this.
But how
It's just
about?
about luck, and it doesn't have the same impact on myself.
But how about this? Think about this. You earn the money for buying the ticket. So, for 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 for
Then,
gambling that
yeah.
small amount of money, I said, yeah, it's a gamble. Then that's it. You get back like more. Maybe you can have that
No.
mindset.
And the chance to win at the lottery is like 0.0001%. And you feel also a bit stressed when yeah, not really. But no, that's not for me. Anyway, so this is like my long-term sources of stress.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know for you, do you have any long-term stress?
Yeah, of course I have long-term stresses. If you've been listening to our podcast, you might notice that I barely have any plans about myself ever. So which
Yeah.
means that I'm really a bit stressed about the future. And
Because you don't have plan, or you don't have plan because otherwise it would stress you.
yeah, I don't have it's just that I don't have plans and I don't even know myself well.
Oh,
And it would have been nice if I don't have plans, but I have the fundings to find myself. But no, they come hand in hand together. I don't have plans, and I am a bit, I am not loaded, as I would say. So yeah, that is a long-term stressor for me, but I tend to not get it to me now, because I think I'm not the only one suffering this kind of stress in their life, because I think mostly millennials are in the same boat. Well, others are not in the same boat, but yeah. So yeah, we're in the same storm. It's just that my boat is a bit smaller and the other boats are cruise ships, and yeah. So it's just like my boat is a bit of a paddle boat. Yeah, let's not wish it's a kayak, but yeah. So yeah, it's just a bit. But then, you know, um, is it really worth it? Sometimes I think about it too much. Sometimes I panic, and then sometimes it's gone. So yeah, I don't let it get into me too much. But I have medium stresses that stresses me more, actually. Like,
yeah, obviously medium stresses. It depends at what moment in your life you are. So the medium
medium
stresses.
stresses that I have are just, let's say, for visas. Those are a bit not just in a moment stresses, but it lasted for like 2 weeks for me, and it's like, wow, I don't feel well. It's like, what is going on? It's like, I don't like moving. I'm not in a good mood, and the after effects
But
actually.
you knew why you are stressed.
Yes, I
So
knew.
what can you do to fix it?
Well,
Nothing?
I just finishing it as quickly as you can.
Yes.
And yeah, just doing it is actually the solution for that. But the
Like
effects,
finishing your assessments or finishing
yeah,
what you have to do.
finishing your I don't know, gathering all your requirements for your visa probably quickly, and
For your
the-
visa, yeah,
having
that's a
more
lot of stress.
Yeah.
I understand.
having more time to having the feeling of having more time to do things actually is less stressful. That's why you must do things far ahead, I would say. This is in the case of my visa. But then yeah, and the after effects of my stress would be that I online shopped a lot. For the past 2 weeks, I've online shopped a lot, and
So when you feel stress, some people eat a lot, some people don't eat, some others, yeah, they're online shopping or they go shopping a lot. So you don't. It's about things you don't really need, and you just buy so you feel better after.
yeah, I mean, is it really? I mean, it's not a necessity, but it would be nice to have it. And I've been those some items actually. I have been looking at them for like a month or so. So it's like
So that's
sometimes.
better. At
Yeah.
least it wasn't. What's the name? Compulsive.
Yeah, compulsive. Yeah.
Compulsive
Yeah, it wasn't.
purchases.
Yeah, it wasn't impulsive, I would say. Yeah, it wasn't like, yeah, I want this, and just bought it for I don't know, for shits and giggles. I've been looking at those items, and the stress is telling my brain that once you finally once this is over, once the source of stress is over, I think you deserve this. It's like, so that's what happened for me. Do you have some sort of medium stresses for yourself?
I don't think so. I mean, in my case, like lately, I mean, recently I was a bit in the same situation as you. I was quite stressed. I was under pressure because of because of work. So at my company, I had a lot of pressure of a lot of things to finish, and actually it's not over yet. So I'm still a bit stressed, but I don't do a lot of shoppings because of that. No,
That's nice.
I would say my behavior will still be the same. However, I might, yes, after work, I might still be more. No, my behavior would change a bit because it would impact a bit my personal life as well. It would take space in my head, like mental space, and sometimes I bite my hand a bit.
Oh yeah.
Not really biting, but just
You nibble on your knuckles.
yeah, I would say so. Kind
Yeah.
of, yeah. I don't know. I believe it's like, some people they
Bite their fingernails.
yeah, they bite the fingers, so they do something like that. In my case, I believe it's a similar reaction. Although I tend to stop doing it because I have that bad habit for quite a long time, a few years, even more. Yeah, yeah. Since I at the end of my studies.
Oh wow.
So
That's a long
when I was
time.
like 21, 2021. So it has been quite a long time, and I should now stop it because it's not good. However, usually you want to do something to push your negative energy somewhere. Usually people would eat a lot, or they would do a lot of online shopping. You have to move that energy you want to
have an
remove
outlet
from your body elsewhere.
Yeah.
And usually you do something for doing so. Some people would smoke a lot, or some others would, I don't know, drink a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but fortunately I don't do those things because those cost money. So yeah.
And we don't smoke. That's it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not even about money.
It's nothing about money. It's just that I don't like it. Okay.
Yes.
For me. Okay. Anyway, so I think we know ourselves when it comes to stresses, and like homeworks. We have homeworks and then we stress about it at the last minute. So for you, what do you think are the things that we can do to alleviate stresses? Of course, we can't stop stressors because they're everywhere. They're every day. They're unpredictable. So for you, what do you think we can do to alleviate stressors?
I mean, when you speak about homework or about visa to be submitted, application of a visa to be submitted or whatsoever, similar things. Obviously, if you do it as soon as possible, if you eat the frog right now instead of leaving the frog for later, at least it will be over. You will flush your head from the negative energy, and you won't be stressed anymore. So as soon as you can do it, you can do it. I know sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes you have to wait. There's a waiting time. Sometimes because your migration agent is really slow and doesn't get back to you, you cannot do anything because of that. It's about external factors. And obviously, what can we do then? We can have some slow down moments. I call slow down moments because it's like moments with yourself or with your loved one or with your best friend or with someone you really care, and you can just have a date, a meal together. You can even with a candle, if you like candle. Sometimes you don't think about it, but having a nice classical music to relax. Although, usually when you are stressed, you don't really think about doing that, and you just want to finish it ASAP, and you're looking on the internet for your visa or for work, it will be good, but you don't just have a slow down moment. But it's a good idea to just listen classical music, to have maybe candles. If you have the opportunity, if you have a tub, a bath at home, you can have a hot bath and just relax for like 30 minutes, an hour. Take a magazine or your Kindle and go to the bath and read. Just decrease the brightness of the light, or just use candles and just relax in the bath while reading. That's really good to relax. Having a nice meal. Treat yourself well, I would say. Obviously, at the same time, like in my case too, recently I had to renew my lease of my apartment, and I was quite stressed because the price increased, and the price, my rental price increased I had different issues as well because my agent of my apartment is a different one. She was never answering to me, and I was feeling quite stressed. And then I was looking on the internet. I was trying to reach her. I was emailing her, but I didn't really think about having a slow, a moment for yourself just to relax and to slow down. Usually, unfortunately, you don't think about it. However, it's a really good habit. Every time you feel a bit stressed, you say, okay, now it's the evening, now nobody will die. I can just, it's Friday, it's Saturday, let's forget it until Monday, and on Monday I will maybe call my migration agent. I will apply for a different job. I will call my real estate agent or whatsoever. That will be for Monday. Now I treat myself well. I will just go for a day at the beach, or I will just have a time with myself, reading something I like, listening something I like. I will go to the theater. I will have a moment with myself to relax and to reboot myself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I completely agree with treating yourself well
And don't eat junk foods, because sometimes when you are stressed, you just eat whatever you see in front of you. And in the long term, that will even make your stress worse, actually.
yeah. I think that's directed for me because I eat a lot of junk anyway. So for me, coping with stress, especially in terms I'm just thinking for my own, because actually I couldn't say much for other because we experience different stresses. So for me, for having, for having a stressor, which is not knowing what to do with myself in the future, or having not enough money for me, it's like I think I think that I should just go slow, and celebrate my small victories, because
It's
that's
important
yeah,
also to celebrate
that's
what you do well.
yeah, because that's what I have for now, and the future is never promised anyway. So why
The
worry?
future is never the one you imagine,
Yeah.
actually.
So why worry? And if I'm so used to a situation where I don't have a lot, and that's okay, because you know being in a lower part is, and being used to it is okay, rather than being from the top and then falling down, and then you
Yeah, I
don't know what to
believe
do.
so. Yes.
Did I say do? You don't know what to do. Sorry. What am I doing? Anyway, so yeah. So yeah, I think it's like it's what I have, and then I shall be happy with the cards that I have been dealt with. It's like, and then yeah, but I don't dwell too much on these kinds of stresses because it's not really worth it. So
Yes.
yeah.
That makes sense. It's easy to say, but actually it's quite hard to do. You say, oh, it's silly to be stressed. Me too. Like before an interview, I know I shouldn't be stressed because I know I'm much better at the interview when I'm not stressed. Much, much better. But sometimes you think about it, you still want to have that job in that company, and then you feel, your body getting stressed. And you shouldn't. So maybe just before starting what will stress you, like you have a lecture to do at school, or maybe you have an interview, or you have something else, just before the moment that stresses you out, even if you need to have a surgery, or if you have to go to the doctor and it stresses you a bit, try to have a walk, try to relax. It's easy to say, but try to have a really nice a hot drink. Usually hot drink is quite good when you are stressed, so try to have a hot chocolate somewhere in your favorite cafe, sorry. In your favorite cafe you can have a hot chocolate. You can have a nice hot bath, or try to have a day elsewhere just before the day where you have the moment that man stresses you out.
Yeah. So when it comes to my when it comes to dealing with my mini daily stresses, I don't think I will change this mindset anytime soon, where I get really nervous and stuff like that, because it's like I grew up with it, and it's a bit ingrained in my brain and in my being, so it's a bit difficult. So what
It's too deep in you.
it's too deep in me, so so this is just for me, but I think
it's never too late to change.
Of course.
Although it will take time, obviously. However, if you want to change, you can. Maybe you don't wish to, you don't think it's important. It's not a big deal, maybe,
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, so yeah, what I have is yeah, for you having a warm drink is good, but for somebody who sweats a lot,
Oh,
have a
yes.
cold drink.
It depends where you are as well.
Yeah.
But yes, usually it's because hot drink,
Warmer, cozy.
yeah, relax. It's more, if you have a really cold drink, it might not help on your stress.
Yes.
It
Just
doesn't help to relax.
Yes. But yeah, if you feel like you're getting hot,
Mm.
and just take it easy and
Yes.
have a boost.
Indeed, you can have a boost like a juice or whatsoever,
Yeah.
or maybe a boost like, I don't know, for you, maybe the boost is having a moment with yourself, a moment with the person you care. Try to speak, try to forget about it, or try just to accept the fear and to say, hello, that's a fear, hello, fear. I know you are there, I know what I have to do. It's not pleasant, but being stressed is worse. So I see, like, try to think about the worst case scenario, try to see the fear and what's the worst case scenario. And usually the worst case scenario is not that bad because there's always a solution. And once you know that the worst case scenario is not the end of the world, then you say, oh yeah, that's the worst that can happen, although the worst is really, maybe it's like I have 1% of having the worst case scenario. So I'm fine, actually. I shouldn't be stressed, because sometimes we are stressed because we don't fully understand the impact of what will happen on us, and usually the impact is really, really low.
Yeah. So to piggyback on that, actually, think of the stressor that you're having now, and think about how you will still think about it in the future, how it will impact you in the future. Let's say after 5 days, will I think about this? After 1 month, will I still think about this? Would it still matter? After 5 months, would it still matter? And after a year, would I forget about it? Or stuff like that. So if if you think that after a month I would probably forget about it, and people are gonna forget about it, then there's no point in stressing about it.
Once it's passed, or for long-term stress?
No, for once it's passed, or once it's
Yes.
it's over.
No, usually, like in my case, the stress I had last year, although it was a bit serious, maybe, I don't know, but now when I think about it, I say, oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't a big deal, actually.
Yeah.
Why I was stressed? Like, no, when we think about our older stresses from the last few years, it doesn't sound really stressful, but we said, wow, why I was so stressed?
That's right.
Why I behaved that way just because of the stress?
Yeah.
Because now we think about the situation with more
Magnitude.
maturity.
Yeah, with more magnitude of
Yes.
what will happen, but then no.
Yeah.
No, it's just
And sometimes, because of the stress, we do silly decisions.
yeah.
We don't act right.
Yes.
We can't think straight as well.
To piggyback on that as well, I have something.
Oh,
Yeah, so you would think that stress is a reaction to a stressor, right?
yeah.
But actually, we skip on being stressed. We don't slowly build up the stress, I would say, because you must there's a stressor, you get stress. There's a stressor, say, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, oxygen is good for the brain.
That's so important.
And then think. Think about the stress that you're feeling and think how this would impact you personally, people around you, your job, your life, and think about how big it is, how big of a deal it is, how big of a deal it is 5 weeks from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And when you think about it, actually there's no point in stressing, so we cut being stressed.
I see.
Yeah.
So have you done that?
No, that's so sad. I react. I go quickly to being stressed, not thinking about take a deep breath, okay? Like it's nothing, you know. No, thankfully nobody has died.
But it's a good exercise.
It's a good exercise.
Yes, I
Take
really like
step by step, you know.
Yes.
Step by step would be
The
nice.
idea is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut it from going from stressor to stress, because we take those steps. Yeah.
I see. Really good piece of advice. Something else I would say is sometimes it's nice, especially when you have a big house, to have one room, one place in your house to be a cozy room, cozy spot where you have directly you have a speaker. You can leave it on. You can leave it on all the time, so you have classical music or relaxed music you like always playing, and then you have like a lot of pillows, a lot of cushions. You have maybe a big windows, like a few windows or one big window. So it's nice to use a room where you have at least one window with a nice view. Depends how, I mean, I don't know your house, but I believe in my case maybe it's the bedroom. There's still a nice window, and there's a carpet as well. I mean, the floor actually is a carpet, so it's quite cozy as well. And just lying on the floor, and I can bring some cushions from the living room to the bedroom, and it helps me to be more in a cozy environment. And then I can even bring a hot chocolate, I mean a mug with hot chocolate, and just thinking about myself and thinking about how small, I mean, I'm stressed for really such a small problem. And life is much more meaningful. You live for yourself. You don't live to impress people. You don't live for doing what others want to do. And for you, maybe you are stressed because here it's about a decision you really want to do. But are you willing to be that stressed? Maybe not. So sometimes we do things, but actually, if at the end of the day we are so stressed, it doesn't work. It depends. But it's important. Sometimes we are stressed, and actually, there's no reason to be stressed. Just continue how it is, but just don't care and don't be stressed. Just do your best.
Yeah, and if you're so stressed and you don't know what to do, have an ice cream, I would say. I think, yeah, if you do that, and then, you know, if you do that every time you're stressed and you're happy, you Pavlov yourself into thinking that, wow, everything's gonna be okay. This ice cream and me, yes.
Yes, if you like ice cream, indeed, you can do that with something else if you prefer something else.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes ice cream. But
are able to consume dairy.
Yes, I mean, you have ice cream for...
Vegan ice cream.
Yeah.
Dairy-free ice cream for lactose intolerant. Yeah.
However, dairy-free, sorry.
Yeah.
However, it's nice, it's really good advice to reward yourself, to give, you know, again, it's about treating yourself well, to say, okay, I'm stressed, but once I have finished that, like for you, I know recently you had to finish a lot of assessments for your school, and it was quite stressful. After that, just treat yourself well, but not before. So at least it will give you positive energy to finish it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can just Pavlov yourself, and every time you are stressed, just treat yourself well, and so for your brain, stress will be seen as a good thing. I'm not sure if this will work or not on the body, but it's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea for an ice cream. It's hot, okay.
So, do you have anything else to share about how you can prevent stress on daily basis?
I think that's it for me now. Yeah, I think I have shared my piece, and yeah.
What would you do the next time you feel stress? I know your long-term stress are still there. I mean, the long-term stresses is hard to get rid of them, especially when you are not sure what you want to build or to do in the long term, or when maybe, I mean, it takes time. Maybe it requires more thinking and about
And
knowing yourself
self-discovery.
better, but that's really fine, and it takes time, but it's important to do that exercise as well, to really think, okay, what do I really like, what I really want in my life. However, for the short-term stress, what's your plan now?
Oh,
The
which
next time.
short-term stress? The medium one or the daily ones?
You have daily stresses as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
not daily, but
But
more
we
like
do, yeah.
like the Xerox.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
usually the daily ones are quite mild.
Yeah,
But I
they're
would
really
say
mild.
about the
Medium.
medium ones.
Well, the same things that we spoke about actually. Just knowing
Last
your
advice.
mileage. Pardon?
A last advice to
Yeah.
share.
Knowing your mileage, I would say. Yeah, because I was recently as well was a bit stressed with assessments and homeworks, and then I didn't really calculate myself well, and how I needed more time about things, and so I think it would be better to give ample time for things to be done.
Do it first.
Yeah, do it first actually before having fun.
Yes.
Which is really not a good. I mean, yeah.
First, eat the frog.
Yeah, first eat the
Like
frog.
what
That's right. That's much
Brian
better.
Tracy says. Yes.
Yeah, that's much better.
That's
eat
really
the
good
frog.
advice. So good luck with your stress. We both know sometimes it can be quite hard to deal with it, but just treat yourself well. Try to eat the frog, so doing what you have to do to stop the stress first before anything else, and try to live in the moment. I mean, just live the present moment, be in the now moment.
Yeah.
See you for now.
Yeah.